this is very dire news. Canada's economy shed more than 40,000 jobs in July, partly offsetting earlier growth. Drea, can you explain to me, again, going back to January, as a matter of fact, once the tariff talk became all the rage and Justin Trudeau stepped down and Mark Carney was new and improved. He was Captain Canuck. He was going to save us. And yet here we are, 8 months later, going into 9 months, no trade deal, no economic prosperity, and the statistics show it. And Dre, I want to point out one thing when it comes to this. And if our economy is so dependent on the U.S., which it is, people go, but how can you deal with somebody like Donald Trump? He's too unpredictable. He's too rash, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, Drea, last I looked, dozens of other countries have notched a trade deal with the U.S. Where's Captain Canuck?
You're absolutely, it is dozens, and it's no deal. I mean, like, part of it is, the other thing that I just learned is that Trump isn't even really taking a call from Carney on this issue anymore. Like, it's gotten so bad. And when we sort of mimicked what the EU was doing with threatening, I think it was the online tax, at that point, they just said no negotiations at all. I mean, they've come back from that a little bit, but like, we are so, it's like you said, this almost seems like it's done on purpose. It's like, how do I appear like I have my elbows up, but not really?
You know what? Great point, Drea. They're not even talking. Trump's not even taking calls from Mark Carney. Again, you're giving me more flashback nightmares to high school. Hey, Drea, it's Dave here. Just wondering, want to go to a movie on Friday? Hello? Oh, disconnected again.
Do we have free counseling benefits? I think we do in our employee package. I think you need some healing from your high school trauma. But I want to point out one like very sad part in this article towards the middle about the young people. It says the declines were largely driven by job losses among young people aged 15 to 24. A cohort that has struggled to find work in the current economic climate. Their employment rate dropped to 53.6%, the lowest since November 1998. That is so sad. I mean, it already appears like that sort of generation maybe isn't like the hardest working. Like that's the appearance I get. So now you have the ones that want to get out there or need to get out there and try to find a job and they're not able to. And I don't know about where you live, but out here it is very clear that pretty much 90% of the people working the jobs that a teenager would usually have are foreigners. That's how it is in our Walmarts, how it is in all of our fast food places. That's how it is in a lot of our grocery stores. So that's a big problem there as well.
100%. Andrea, I harken back to June, the National Post. I think it was the cover story, as a matter of fact. The death of the summer job. It doesn't exist anymore for so many young people. But I want to say on that point, that 15 to 24 demographic, they're getting it. They know that Liberal and NDP policies ain't floating the boat for them anymore. And I'll tell you, after going to so many Pierre Poilievre rallies, even in blue-collar cities like Windsor back in April, Drea, the number of young people out there, it was off the charts. And Windsor, great example, even though the Conservatives did not win the election. But I'll tell you something, for the first time in a long time, 2 out of the 3 seats in a city that is either a red or orange stronghold, election after election after election, 2 of the 3 seats went Conservative. And the number of young people that I saw at these rallies that know that the crap they're being fed by the Liberals and the NDP, especially pertaining to what we talked about earlier, Drea, shutting down pipeline production, for example, so hurting those jobs, hurting the steel mills and the aluminum factories to make the infrastructure for pipelines. They realize that, the NDP and the Liberals with their climate change fetish, they're not friends of theirs anymore. So the tide is turning. You know, it's really, if you look at the core liberal voter, the core demographic, it is female, university educated, and typically 55 plus. You know, and that, and if someone can explain why the liberals appeal to these ladies so much, there's a steak dinner in it for you, my friend.